Good morning, ma'am. I'm Nedimi Bahado from BEd2B and I'm the first reporter of Topic 9, and we will discuss about Rizal goes back to Hong Kong.
Rizal left again for Marseille, where he boarded SS Melbourne on October 18, 1891. The primary reasons why he left Europe were the differences in political persuasion with Marcelo H. Del Pilar and other Filipinos in Spain, and his desire to lead the propaganda movement. Rizal also told Del Pilar that he no longer write articles for La Solidaridad. Rizal life in Hong Kong. Upon his arrival in Hong Kong on November 20, 1891, the Filipino residents, especially his old friend Jose Embasa, gave him a warm welcome. They were glad to see him back. As you can see in the picture, that is Jose Embasa. After a few days, he immediately went into the practice of medicine to earn a living. Dr. Lorenzo P. Marquez, a Portuguese ophthalmologist who had an extensive training and experience in this field of medical science dealing with diseases of the eyes, became his friend and eventually helped him have many patients. Na isa si Dr. Lorenzo P. Marquez ang tumulong kay Rizal para maparami ang kanyang mga pasyente. Dr. Rizal's name became a byword in the field of ophthalmology. So ang pangalan ni Rizal ay naging tanyag na dahil sa larangan ng ophthalmolohiya. Also, his patients include different nationalities, British, Chinese, Portuguese, Japanese, Koreans, and Americans. And he was not only an eye specialist, but also he is a general practitioner. Rizal wrote to his friend Lumenthreet on January 31, 1892. He said, "Here I practice as a doctor and I have clients. I have heard many sick of influenza because there is an epidemic. Through the newspapers, I am informed that this sickness is also causing ravages in Europe. I hope that you and your esteemed family will be spared." Because of the many patients of different nationalities who had consulted him for the treatment and to get well, his name as an eye surgeon landed in various newspapers, magazines, and medical journals. Because of his good reputation as a physical and ophthalmologist, people with the same professions recognize his remarkable contributions in the practice of medical science involving eye diseases. Here is Dr. Ariston Bautista Lin from Paris sent him a congratulatory note accompanied by a book on diagnostic pathology. So, also Don Vergel de Dios, wala pa akong picture niya kasi wala akong nahanap sa Google. He is a kind-hearted man, offered him his services for the purchase of medical books, equipment, and instruments which he might needed in the practice of his medical professions. So, the last is the wealthy man from Biarritz, Mr. Edward Bosted. Adelina's father sent him a letter on March 21, 1892, praising him for practicing his medical profession. That's all my report. Thank you for listening.
Second reporter of Module 9. In Europe, the Filipino friends of Rizal learned of his medical practice in Hong Kong and gave him their assurance of moral and financial support. According to Dr. Herminiano D. Ocampo, an accomplished Filipino ophthalmologist, Rizal, a man of vision who sees far ahead, possessed all the qualities of a great 6% specialist. He had a keen and analytical intellect, lightness of touch, deep knowledge of medicine and ophthalmology, and had been properly and adequately trained by master ophthalmic surgeon. If only he had devoted his life to the practice of medicine, he would become one of Asia's eminent ophthalmologists. So, in Europe, nalaman or natuklasan ng mga Pilipinong kaibigan ni Rizal ang pagsasanay niya ng medisina sa Hong Kong at binigyan sila ng pinansyal na suporta. At ayon kay Dr. Herminiano D. Ocampo, isang magaling na Filipinong ophthalmologist, that Rizal has 6% potential of being great specialist at may malawak na kaalaman sa medisina at ophthalmologist. At kung naipagpapatuloy lamang ni Rizal ang pag-aaral sa medisina, ay maaari siyang maging mahusay na ophthalmologist sa Asia. Sa loob ng mahigit isang buwan nung dumating siya sa Hong Kong, kasama ang kanyang mga kapatid at magulang, nagupahan sila ng maliit na bahay sa number 2 Red Nasala Terrace bilang kanilang tahanan at kasabay ng kanyang medical clinic. Planned Filipino colonization in Borneo. With a kind of socio-political climate under the administration of Governor General Valeriano Wheeler, the Calambatinan farmers and other town folks seem hopeless to have a better quality of life. So, sa pangangasiwa ni Gobernador General Valeriano Wheeler, ang mga magsasaka na nangungupahan sa Kalamba at ibang bayan ay nawala ng pag-asa na magkaroon ng magandang kalidad na buhay. Kaya si Rizal ay nagplano at nag-isip ng idea kung paano pamahalaan o magamit ang yaman ng tao. Dahil ramdam niya ang sakit at pagdusa ng mga Pilipinong mahirap sa kanyang bayan. Nung malaman o narinig ito ng kanyang mga kaibigan mula sa Europe na sina Graciano Lopez Gina, Antonio, Juan Luna, Dr. Aristo Bautista Lin at Professor Blumentritt ay natuwa sila at nagbigay ng suporta. Si Graciano Lopez Gina ay nagpadala agad ng liham kay Rizal noong May 26, 1892 para sa kanyang intensyon sumali sa koloni. Ngunit si Manuel Hidalgo, ang brother-in-law ni Rizal, ay hindi niya pinahintulutan ng plano ni Rizal dahil hindi daw ito magandang plano para sa Borneo. At tinanggal naman sa kanyang tungkulin si Governor General Wheeler at pinalitan ito ni Gobernador Hilucio Dispool. Rizal's sense of values and dedication to be of service to the Filipino people was anchored on hard work, determination, and perseverance. So far, the second time, he sent the Governor General another letter requesting him to allow the landless Filipino to establish a colony in Borneo. Rizal did not receive any reply, but instead, the Governor General notified the Spanish Consul General in Hong Kong to tell Rizal that he could not approve. He requested allowing Filipino immigration to Borneo and starting among other things that it was not very patriotic to go off and cultivate a foreign soil. The last letter he sent to Governor General Dispool was a letter requesting permission to change his nationality and immigrate with his family and other townmates in Calamba who cared to join him in Borneo. Rizal received not reply at all. Dahil sa hangarin ni Rizal para sa mga mamamayang walang lupa ay determinado siyang itulak ang plano o proyekto at nagkaroon siya ng pag-asa sa bagong pamumuno ni Gobernador Dispool at nagbigay siya ng liham ngunit wala siyang natanggap na acknowledgement letter. Dahil sa dedikasyon niya magtatag ng koloni sa Borneo ay nagpaabot muli siya ng sulat ngunit wala rin siyang natanggap na tugon mula sa gobernador. Ngunit ipinaalam ni Dispool sa Consul General ng Kastila sa Hong Kong na di niya maaprubahan ang kahilingan ni Rizal. Sa uling liham ni Rizal mula sa gobernador ay tungkol sa pahintulot na baguhin ang kanyang nasyonalidad at mangibang bansa kasama ang kanyang pamilya at ibang kababayan na gustong sumama sa kanya. Ngunit wala rin siyang natanggap na tugon mula kay General Dispool. Samantalang ang tatay ni Rizal na si Don Francisco ay inutos niyang mamalagi sa Hong Kong at wala siyang balak bumalik sa kanyang lupang sinilangan at sinabi niya na hindi kapanipaniwala ang buhay doon at abala siya sa pagsasali ng Noli sa Tagalog. So that's all my report. I hope you have learned something from me and thank you for listening and wassalam. Bye!
So, work of Rizal in Hong Kong. He wrote Constitution and by laws of La Liga Filipina, Philippines League, Association of Filipinos for Civic and Social Activities. So, the most important objective of La Liga Filipina, union of archipelago in a compact, vigorous, and homogeneous body. So, La Liga Filipina is a secret organization. It was founded by Jose Rizal in the house of Doroteo Ongchuangco. This organization derived from La Solidaridad and the propaganda movement. So, next, Jose Mabasa, the idea of founding La Liga Filipina was his brainchild Filipino Excel of 1872. So, Jose Mabasa is a best friend of Jose Rizal. The other work of Rizal is entitled The Right of Man, ang karapatan ng mga tao, that appeal to Spanish authorities to rectify injustice done in Calamba. To my country, sa mga kababayan, explain the details of agrarian problem. So, the Hong Kong Telegraph, British daily newspaper where some copies reached the Philippines. Rizal wrote articles on Philippines history, government, and culture. Don Mariano Conanan from Pampanga offered to raise initial amount of 40,000 to establish school. So, si Don Mariano Conanan ay siya yung tumulong kay Dr. Jose Rizal or nag-offer ng pera para matapos yung school na pinapagawa ni Dr. Jose Rizal. So, Rizal decided to return to Manila. So, May 1892, Rizal returned to Manila. The reason why he returned to Manila is to desire to see Governor Dispogol regarding his Borneo project. Next, established La Liga Filipina in Manila. Then protested Eduardo de Leti in his article in La Solidaridad. Next, dated April 15, 1892, portraying him as a coward and opportunistic for being safe and comfortable in Hong Kong while abandoning his country's cause. So, the word patriot. Marcelo H. Del Pilar is the author of La Solidaridad. He approached Del Pilar, the editor of La Solidaridad, saying, I am more convinced that lately in writing the article was too hasty and you permitted yourself to be carried away, friend or enemy. If the article has harmed me more, it would harm the interests of the Philippines. I'm going to activate the propaganda again and fortify the Liga. Rizal could not hide his misgiving to Bones, so he confided in the incidents why Del Pilar allowed the publication of the article. I believe that we can well have little misunderstanding and personal differences among ourselves without exhibiting them in public. As for myself, I always welcome criticism because they improve those who wish to be improved. So that's all.
The last 2 leaders in Hong Kong. Rizal's decision to return in Manila was vehemently opposed by his parents, sisters, relatives, and friends. Trinidad, his sister, carefully warned him to stop from coming home, for they will kill you. Rizal, a man of courage, fortitude, and firmness, would not change his decision. Rizal spent his 31st birthday with some of his friends in Hong Kong on June 19, 1892. On June 20, before leaving Hong Kong, he wrote 2 letters which he sealed and then entrusted to his Portuguese friend, Dr. Lorenzo Marquez. On each sealed envelope was written, to open after my death. In those letters, one addresses to his family, the other one to his countrymen. Rizal spoke of the risk he was taking in returning to the Philippines, but he added, what matters is death of one dies for what one loves for his motherland in the being he adores. Means that one to show to those who deprive people the right to love of country that when we know how to sacrifice ourselves for our duties and convictions. Para kay Rizal, death does not matter kung mamamatay siya para sa bayan, para sa kanyang mga mahal sa buhay. Also, he added, a man ought to die for his duty and convictions. Rizal held fast to every idea about the future of his country and shall willingly die for it, and even more willingly to sacrifice all to secure our justice and peace. I do agree with him, since a man with principles and duty are willingly to sacrifice everything in him just to achieve his goals. Rizal is a man of principles, and he died with his principles. Perhaps in the pages of history of mankind all over the world, this 2 sealed envelope contain the sacrifices of a man whose lofty ideals and conviction in the pursuit of duty for love of country and fellow men was truly second to none. The first and the last paragraph of the letter addressed to his parents, brethren, and friends follow country's coast. He approached Del Pilar, the editor of La Solidaridad, saying that
I am more convinced that lady in writing the article was too hasty and you permitted yourself to be carried away. Friend or enemy, if the article has harmed me more, it would harm the interest of the Philippines and I going to activate the propaganda against and fortify the Liga. Rizal could not hide his misgiving to Ponce, so he confided in the incident why Del Pilar allowed the publication of the article. Rizal said, I believe that we can well have little misunderstanding and personal differences among ourselves without exhibiting them in public. As for myself, I always welcome criticism because they improve those who wish to be improved. The outcome judges things according to the consequences, but whether the result is favorable or not, it may always be said that my duty ordered me, so if I die in doing it, it will not matter.